474 milliliters of carbon dioxide gas has a temperature of 290.0 K. If the gas is cooled until the volume it should be reaches, not reached. Syntax error. Reaches 424 milliliters. Question is what? Okay, if we're going to have time to do the test, I need to move along, reasonably fast, okay? All right, so we've got, what? You want to go and do the test without going through all the kinds of problems that could come up? I mean, I can do that. That's what everybody wants to do. All right, so we got a volume of 474 milliliters, and then we got a temperature for that volume of gas at 290.0 K, and the gas is cooled, so that's going to give us a second temperature. We don't know what that temperature is. We do know that the second volume, I'm sorry, that should be a 1. Second volume is going to be 424 milliliters. Alright, so we're still using Charles' law. V1T1 equals V2T2.
This is one we would flip, right?
This is one you're going to have to flip because we're trying to find an unknown that's down here on the bottom. Let's plug in the value so you can see. Yes. Just bear with me. I have a problem coming up shortly to show you that. Okay? Alright, so we're going to plug in the number here for volume 1. 474 milliliters. T1 is 290.0 K. And we've got V2 is 424 milliliters. And we have a T2 we don't know. And I've told you before that you cannot solve for an unknown, at least not directly, solve for an unknown that's on the bottom of a fraction. So to solve for this one, we've got to flip. So both sides have to be flipped. 290.0 K and 474 milliliters. So I flipped this fraction here, and I'm going to flip this one. T2 is going to go on the top, and 424 milliliters is going to go on the bottom. Now we're ready to isolate the unknown. Going to multiply by 424 milliliters over 1 on both sides. Cancel this term with this term. Cancel milliliters on both sides. And we're ready to solve the problem. So 424 times 290.0. Going to hit enter. Then I'm going to hit the divide button and divide by what's on the bottom here. Hit enter. And I get 259 and some other numbers after the decimal place. 259.409 2827. Units we have left are K. This is equal to T2, and When we look at this, we should recognize then that K, Kelvin, is a temperature unit. So the unit we have left matches the variable we're looking for here. Alright, so we want to underline our insignificant digits. We only need 3 digits. Draw an arrow to show we're rounding off. And our answer is going to be 259 Kelvin equals temperature 2. Yep.
We're not using pen at all, because I like to keep, like when I'm marking out, I like to mark the button red.
Well, if you want to use a pen on a test, I guess does not. I mean, we're not using a scan card on this test, so that's fine, I guess. But I'd rather use a pencil.
I mean, I'm going to use it, I just, like, I can't see my pencil when I'm marking out.
All right. I almost wrote 666, but somebody did say something about that, so I didn't like that. Well, I haven't. I'll make sure everybody got this down before I go on. Man, I tell you what, if I do one thing, somebody complains. If I do another, somebody complains. All right. I'm really just playing. It's fine. Can I move the old problem out of the way? Well, okay. Man, here I am trying to be nice.
I am nice.
No, I'm saying I'm trying to be nice.
Oh.
And you over there complaining. But you're not saying you're complaining.
I'm complaining.
I'm playing. It's all right. Come on, chill out. It's all right. Chill out. Chill out. All right, here we go. The bus is pulling out. All right, a list of knowns and unknowns. We got a volume of 668 liters with a temperature of 33 degrees.
I got a question. Why doesn't it say K and you're asking us for the Celsius?
Right. I'm going to show you. That's a very good question.
I hope you're not trying to change the problem or something.
No, I'm not trying to change the problems with you. It's just we've been all through this.
Is it the one where you change it to the K-30 and
No.
Change it back. That's right. That's it.
Oh.
Okay.
Smart.
All right. So now this is the second volume. That is 622 liters. This is temperature 1, and we're going to look for the second temperature. Okay. We want to find it in Celsius at the end. Okay. So you got to be careful. We don't know what it is, but we do know we want the temperature in Celsius. Okay. So that means that before we can do the math, we've got to change this into Kelvin. You guys have recognized that already. That's good. So 33.0 degrees C plus 273.15 and we get 306.15 K. Got to round off this last digit because I've got an empty slot. We get 306.2 K. So this temperature right here in Celsius is the same as this temperature in Kelvin. Now we're ready to plug into the equation. V1 over T1 equals V2 over T2. I'm going to slide it up. Plug in the values we have. Then we've got V1, 668 liters over T1 is 306.2 K. V2 is 622 liters. And T2 we don't know. Okay? So what do I got to do first? Flip it. Can't solve for an unknown that's on the bottom of a fraction directly. So we got to do 306.2 K on top of 668 liters. And on the other side we're going to have T2 on the top and 622 liters on the bottom. Multiply by this on the top, 622 liters over 1. 622 liters over 1. This term and this term are the same, so they can cancel out completely. Liters can cancel here and here. We're ready to do the math. I want to multiply what's on the top first. 622 by 306.2, 622 times 306.2. Going to hit enter, and then we're going to hit divide and divide by what's on the bottom. 668. Enter. Okay, and we get 285.11437127. What? Did I do it wrong again?
That's what I
I
thought.
got 1-3.
Yeah, I got 1-3.
Well, that's okay. If this 5 were to be rounded off here, that'd make that a 3, right?
Oh, okay.
So your calculator just doesn't have the same number of digits that mine does.
All right.
And this is Kelvin and equals T. We can, huh?
T2.
Right. We can go ahead and round this off then to the right number of digits, 3 digits. And we get 285 K equals T2. However, we've got to remember we wanted the temperature in Celsius up here. Okay?
You got the box that, so you know that it's right.
You could, but we still have one more step though.
Right. I mean,
If you did, it's fine. 285 K minus 273.15 K. Actually, that's not K. Leave the units off that. And I should move the K over actually because we're going to have an empty slot to make it a little bit easier here. Looks about right to me. Okay, so we're going to subtract 273.15 from 285, 285 minus 273.15, and I get 11.85 degrees C, but we have to round off 2 digits on the end because I got 2 empty slots over here. That make sense? 12 degrees C.
can you pull it up?
Now-
real quick? Let me see it.